Hello friends, we're down at Pet Value this weekend for the National Adoption Weekend. Hopefully we'll get a few animals into families. We did get a few animals into families down at the shelter this week. We had 4 cats and a dog adopted. Lady, Da Vinci, Maya, Lucy, and sweet little Caruso. Congratulations to all of those families. We're excited to announce that we've just received the report from the first month of the spay and neuter program for the city of Dawson Creek. In the first 2 weeks of the program, we announced the program on January the 16th, and in the first 2 weeks we have already completed 24 surgeries for cats. This is exciting news and a great kickoff to the first beginning of the program. There's quite a few spots still left, so if you have a cat that's not spay and neutered yet and you live in the city of Dawson Creek, please get down to the shelter soon. We would hate for you to miss out on this amazing opportunity provided to us by PetSmart Charities of Canada. As a reminder, Dawson Creek Animal Service Officers are out there now looking for unlicensed animals. So if your animal isn't licensed, you can expect to hear from one of the officers soon. They're phoning, of course, and reminding people to license their pets, and they will be out on the streets looking for unlicensed pets and, of course, stray animals. So make sure your animals are licensed and kept safe at home. This beautiful young dog is available for adoption down here at the shelter. She seems to have come to us through a few different owners and some things have happened, but she's only about 10 months old and she's actually a very, very well-behaved dog. She gets along really well with other dogs. She's just started some obedience training and she's an absolute love to have around. She's very calm as far as huskies go. She likes to just lay around on a giant pillow all day and just hang out with you. She would do really, really well as an indoor dog with a family if you just want a dog to lay in front of the couch with you. So if you're looking to add an absolutely beautiful young dog to your family, come down and meet Sasha. And now it's time to look a little bit at the science of animal learning and try to help you develop a better relationship with your pet. I heard something yesterday that kind of made me feel a little sad. It's something I hear people say. A person was talking about their pet and they were actually feeling that their pet was being vindictive or maybe even planning to do things that would upset them. We hear people say things like that and that their pet's trying to be dominant. And the fact is that science has shown us that that's not even possible for your dog to do. The part of the brain that allows an animal to do that is not even developed in a dog. So dogs do not learn that way. Dogs learn, and this is very important and something I wish you would remember and repeat, dogs learn in 2 ways only. They learn by the direct consequence of their behavior, and they learn by association. When I do this, this usually happens next, or when this happens, usually this happens next. It is the simple way of looking at how dogs learn. It's like when I jump up on my owner usually does something and gives me attention. It might not be good attention as far as you're concerned, but the dog really just wants your attention. When I go in the car, we always go to the veterinarian and it's scary. So the dog is afraid of the car. If I get in the car, we always go to the shelter and play with other dogs and get treats. So maybe the dog's really happy about the car. Associations about the emotion the dog's feeling, and consequences about the direct consequence of the behavior of the dog. Now, I absolutely love the quote from Dr. Susan Friedman. She talks about behavior as a stream, the ABCs of behavior. It's constantly flowing for dogs. And what her studies have shown is that if you can pluck the immediate thing that happens right after the behavior and right before the behavior, you can actually control 99% of behavior. So let's talk about jumping up. Jumping up is something that's very common in dogs. So if the dog jumps up on you, that's the behavior you're looking at. What happens right before then? Well, the dog approaches you, and the dog has learned, usually when the dog approaches you, he doesn't get any attention. You ignore the dog. So the dog jumps up, and the immediate consequence of that is that you pay attention to the dog and something happens. Now, what's motivating the dog here? The dog is just looking for your attention. Usually jumping up occurs when you've been gone for a while or they're meeting somebody new. So understanding that the dog is motivated by your attention and that it gets the attention as soon as it jumps up, we can change the behavior. Start practicing for the next couple of weeks if you have a dog that jumps up. Every time the dog approaches you, Stop and pet the dog. If you pet the dog before the dog jumps up, you're actually giving it what it's looking for before it has to jump up on you. If the dog does jump up on you, simply turn away. Too bad, the dog gets absolutely nothing. If you practice this and give the dog what he wants before he jumps up on you, you're going to have a much better success at teaching the dog not to jump. The dog will very quickly learn, jumping gets me nothing, but staying down gets me pets. Now, you can actually raise the expectations for your dog and ask your dog to sit instead. So, once your dog is not jumping anymore, ask your dog to sit instead of jumping up on you. If we look at every single behavior, what happens right before and right after, that is the way we can alter what our pets are doing. If we all work together, we can make sure that we have a wonderful relationship with our dogs and help them learn in the way that works for them. We thank you for your care and support from the South Peace BC SPCA.